This is To the Front. Tools for today's top agents.
All right. Hey, welcome to episode number 5 of To the Front. And so we are glad you have joined us. And hey, as always, we've got an amazing episode for you. Hey, remember what the goal of this podcast, this video cast is for. It's to give agents and team members of captive insurance agencies tools that you can use right away. Right. So tools that you can put in your agency. And so we're going to have a collection of guests on here, coaches, agents. But today, we're excited to invite in one of our first team members to the front. It's Caden Easterling. Caden, welcome. We're glad you're here.
I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, great to be here. Great to be here for sure.
I love it, man. Caden's actually in studio today. It's our first episode where we're going to film in studio. And so, man, he was the guinea pig as we were setting up and getting all of our mic set. So, man, I appreciate that. Hey, I want to introduce you, Caden. Just folks that don't know you, they need to know you. Today's episode is called the 100 App Member. My guess is if you are listening, you want team members that produce 100 apps. Heck, you would probably be okay if you had team members that produced 50 apps a month. But, man, Caden, everywhere I go, every agent that I talk to, they're trying to get their team to produce at the levels that you're producing. So when we were coming up with this podcast, I said, I got to have Caden on. Because I want to know how you structure your day, how you do what you do, right? Because I'm a big believer that when one boat rises, we can all rise, right? And
of course, yeah.
If something that you say can help other team members and help other agents to train their team members to produce like you, then that's what we want to do.
Of course. Yeah.
So 100 app team member, I want to introduce Caden. So Caden hails from Winchester, Kentucky. He's working at a captive agency in Lexington. And so Caden and his agent have been customers of FrontRunner for a while, but today's not really about FrontRunner. But when I started to see Caden's production, I said, holy moly. Caden's mid-20s, but he's producing like a seasoned veteran. Sometimes 100 apps, 120 apps. I saw months Caden of 150 apps. Mm-hmm. So did I introduce you well?
Yes, you did. And I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Caden, I said, I got to bring you on.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the lowdown.
Yeah.
You got to get back to your office. So we're going to do a quick hitter. That sound good?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit about your journey, Caden, from not being in insurance to joining an agency, being a team member, probably being some cold call to start.
Of course.
So all of a sudden, you're producing 100, 150 apps a month. And I remember being in your office, doing some training with your team, and you were walking around with this headset, doing training, doing a sale. And I'm like, this dude's a big hitter. And so tell me about your journey, about how you started and then how you've gotten to this point today in terms of maybe not even your success yet, just how you became team member at a captive agency.
Yeah, absolutely. And first, again, thank you for having me on. Happy to be here. Happy to share some insight and all that stuff. Is truly the big thing is it's not always been like this. I started, low man on the totem pole, just like everybody. I always make a joke when I'm talking to potential hires and new hires and things like that. When my agent first asked me who my parents had through their insurance for their personal cars and home, I actually said Humana, health insurance company. Obviously, I didn't know much about insurance, and here I am now, being like we say, over 100 apps a month. A little bit about my background. I'm a big on competitiveness and always, kind of trying to keep up with all the top of the list and all that stuff. So I was actually playing baseball at Morehead State here in Kentucky, and COVID hit.
Oh, what position?
So I was a pitcher. I was a pitcher. Yeah.
Tell me your trademark pitch. What was it?
Really, I like to say I was a little bit of everything, but the fastball. I always got the heater. Always had the heater.
Okay,
yeah.
So when you needed to put one on it, it's fastball.
Yeah, we're going with the fastball, high and tight. Let's get them, blow their doors off. Yeah,
dude, I was a pitcher until I was 14.
Okay,
I was really good.
Yeah,
I was so good I didn't make the baseball team. I was really good, man. Dude, I was throwing heat, like 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast you threw, but
I got it up there a little bit.
Probably as a D1. Yeah, you probably done that.
Well, what kind of ended it, kind of lead it into my State Farm career was, like I said, COVID hit. It kind of threw a loop and everything. And I needed a shoulder surgery I didn't want to get. And I knew I wasn't probably going to the big leagues. So I figured, let's hang him up. And my agent, he actually at the time, he needed somebody to cold call for him, more of an intern type role. And I was still in college. I was like, why not? So kind of just went in there and started, hammering down dial, smiling dial, like they always say. So we're knocking out anywhere from, depending on the day and the call volume, what you see, obviously it kind of determines who answers the phone. So we're anywhere from 150 to 200 calls when I'm first starting. And then from there, luckily I've worked up. The big thing is having centers of influences, and we'll get into that more on, but that's where I've kind of started seeing a niche. Yeah.
So now, did you start with that mentality, or was there some specific training that your agent walked you through?
Great question, because no, truly, I was not always like this. I had the competitive side and things like that, but until really, there was a couple cases that we had that was like, oh, we've really helped this person. We've really put them in a better situation on their personal side for their cars and their home, but really from a life, health, financial service standpoint as well. We've really helped this client. So that was kind of the click, the light bulb went off, and it was like, hey, I can really make this a career if I buy in and put my head down and all that stuff. So kind of started from there.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because I've heard the same story from other team members about, hey, I kind of got roped into this. I wasn't like looking to be an insurance agent, but kind of knew somebody and I got in. But I'll be straight up. The story that I hear all the time is, man, it didn't work out. I thought I could produce and I couldn't, but that it's a different story for you, right? Is there something about you? And I know we're going to get into the mechanics here in a minute, but was there something about maybe a college experience, a baseball experience that kind of translated over to you? Because here's why I ask. We've got lots of agents listening to this podcast or watching, and they're like, how do I hire the right team member with the right background to be successful, right? So was there something in your past you think has helped you with your success?
I definitely do. I think it is my sports background and just that competitiveness. I really, you first start, you're timid, all that stuff. You got to kind of get your feet under you before you can really feel confident and all that. So I think at first that's kind of what limited me a little bit. I mean, it comes with the territory. It comes with, as again, like I said, we have these bigger cases. I get my footing underneath me. But I really think the big thing is the competitiveness. I hate losing. I do not like losing. That's one of the things that gets me. I lay my head down at night and I'm like, man, I should have done this, should have done that, could have done this better type thing. So that translated over to wanting to have the best conversation I can with somebody to make sure that their needs are properly covered. And as a result of that, seeing your name go up on the leaderboard, seeing your premium, your checks getting bigger, all that. So a lot, but the main thing is competitiveness.
Which really, I don't know if it can be taught. This year, like I don't know if you can teach somebody how to be competitive, but I actually believe it can be taught. Like I think in agencies, agents can develop agencies that are both healthy and encouraging, yet a really good nature of competitiveness.
I definitely think so as well.
Which drives people. And it seems like your agent has produced that. But here's my guess. You didn't go from 0 to 100 in the first day, or maybe the first month, or even the first year, right? But my guess is that you do the little things that pay off in big ways. So again, to the front, tools to help agents that top agents that are today or top agents for tomorrow. I've got an agent listening saying, hey, Caden, tell me the little things that you do every day that contribute to your success. So kind of walk us through that. What are the little things? Maybe tell us about your day. How do you structure it? The little things that end up paying off big at the end of the month.
For sure. Yeah. And start. So the little things, that's, you have situations that come up that can really make a month or break a month or whatever, but the little things that's what you can control. That's what we focus on. So with that, kind of the two big pieces that I really, really have honed in on the past year and kind of narrowed it down to get it into where it is now is my follow-up process. And then basically my appointment scheduling and how I'm following up with clients. Because the big thing is, hey, you can go through a quote and you can say, call me back tomorrow at whatever time, or, but things come up, things happen, people forget, that kind of thing. So I always like having calendar invites, that kind of thing. Just basically there's no way, nothing going to come between us from us talking and me switching your insurance over or me helping you in the situation. There's nothing that's going to stop that. Let's get this scheduled. When I was first kind of getting going and saying, hey, I'll send these quotes over to you. We'll follow up with you in a couple of days. You're never going to get any traction there. You're never going to get those callbacks and all that stuff. So I really focus on narrowing down a time because look, I'm busy, but hey, you're also busy too. I want to be respectful of your time and I want to make sure we're not interrupted with dinner or church or whatever.
So before you let that person go, you say, let's set a time. Or just say, hey, can I call you tomorrow?
Right.
That's too easy to dodge you.
Exactly.
Oh, well, you called during my pedicure.
Yeah, right.
Or, you called when I was walking the dog.
Exactly.
Or I was in the bathroom. No,
exactly.
You're like, no, you set a time.
Exactly.
Do you push back on that?
I do a little bit. You get, I've got to go to this appointment, that kind of thing. And really it goes back to, well, hey, look, this is what we can do for you. We want to make sure you're in the best spot insurance wise. I don't want to make this more important to me than it is to you. So, hey, let's schedule a couple days. I'll call you this day. If it doesn't work, we'll just immediately go to that second date that we already have scheduled. It's all about having a date on something. Basically, like another aspect that I'm doing is having client reviews with folks. When I have these reviews with folks, we've already scheduled a meeting for next year to go ahead and have it on the calendar, all that stuff. So that's a little bit about prioritizing. That's the big thing, is prioritizing and making sure you have those calendar follow-ups and all that. But then a little bit as far as the day-to-day goes, it's kind of a fluctuation. Every a team member and agents at that point, they can attest, no day is the same as in insurance world. Every single day is different. You never know what's going to come up. Right. So my big thing is first thing in the morning, I'm getting there, obviously checking emails, looking at the calendar and all that stuff. But the second the phones roll over at 9, we're getting on the phones. We like to call it in our office a power hour.
Power hour. I love it.
Yeah. Runs from 9 to 10. Everybody, all the sales team they got their headsets on. We're standing up. We're at our stand-up bed, standing up, and we're pounding the phones, calling as many people as we can go.
That's everybody.
That's everybody. That's every salesperson in the office. They better be, if you're not on that power hour, you better have the reasons why you're not on that power hour. Right. Yeah.
Like, dude, you better be in surgery.
Exactly.
If you're not in power hour.
Exactly.
So that creates accountability.
Of course.
The team, right? So you would say a piece of your success is saying we've got structures in place for accountability.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. That's where it starts, because if you don't have any accountability, you're never going to have a whole team that is striving towards one goal. You can have one team member, 2 team members, whatever, but until there's that accountability piece in there, that's when you'll start seeing your team as a whole start improving.
So you're intentional about follow-ups. What time you're following up, and you've got a set hour where you're going to be hitting those phones, power hour. Do you do any other time blocking for your day to help you be more productive?
Yeah, I have now switched as long with the new business side as I'm doing current client reviews as well. So homeowners policies renewal, with everything being so expensive right now, you want to make sure your policies are set up where they need to be. So as a result, we need to meet with you, because as time goes on, your life changes, your need change. We need to make sure your homeowners, if you've, like we were talking about earlier, bathroom renovations, things like that. If you renovate your bathroom and your house is now $50,000 more in value, we need to know about that. We need to adjust your policies. So as far as time blocking goes, yes, I'll set, like earlier today, I had a time block from 10 to 12 that I was specifically calling on life policies that we're doing this month. So specific things, looking for a specific niche, whatever you're calling on, make sure you have a time block, because again, in agency, in insurance world, things come up. You never know who's walking in the door. You never know who's calling, complaining about their bill. So having a time block, that's where you can sit down and know you're calling on this stuff. I've found a lot of success in that for sure. Yeah, man.
I hope you're listening, agents and team members. Maybe you're discouraged. Caden, you're a pretty extraordinary guy.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I don't say you're sitting across from you, or you have a better fastball than I do. But I will say that there's a lot of simplicity into what you're talking about. It's get up, plan your day, time block. Things are going to happen. You work in an agency, it's going to happen. But the reality is, though, if you time block, you have a better shot of getting to all of the things that you need to have done.
Exactly.
And your office tracks it. right? So I know that you guys have a little tracking thing that you guys do. You guys put that all together each morning and share that in a team meeting. Is that how that works?
So every single morning I run a team meeting. We've created, we work with FrontRunner on this, but we have created a really cool Excel spreadsheet that basically it'll go over. We have what's a daily point system. 7 points is considering your day. And then as well, we also go over previous day production, what's left in our buckets that we're calling on, if you will. Just basically doing a recap of the prior day and hey, where do we need help? Where can we improve? What's going on this calendar today? Things like that. Yeah. And since we started that within the past 8 months, I would say, and even since then, we were talking about accountability. The accountability piece with that, seeing your numbers. Hey, this is what I need to do today. Really helps for sure.
And so how long is that? I could hear agents saying, "Oh man, I pull my team in for 30 minutes a day." Is it 30 minutes?
No.
You're like, you're missing call times.
Yeah, right. You got to get in that power hour. Yeah, no. So how we design our agency is 8:30 to 8:50, and this is Eastern time. Make it whatever time zone you're in. 8:30 to 8:50 in the morning. We are going through any service task on the sales side. Any service task, whether that's a underwriting memo, you got to get to whatever. That's from 8:30 to 8:50. 8:50 to 9 is when we're having that morning meeting. At 9's the phones start rolling over. Sales side's going to that power hour. So it's just a quick little 10-minute. Hey, this is what happened yesterday. This is what we're doing today. Do we need any help on anything? It's not a full blurb, this is, you all have to hit these numbers, that kind of thing. It's nothing like that. It's just a quick, hey, here's our day. Let's go knock it out.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm hearing. If you want to be a 100 app team member, number one, you really got to get a hold of your schedule. You need to time block. You need to use whatever tools you can that your company gives you. Maybe use a tracking tool to remind yourself of when to call people. And before you let people off that call, you want to set a time to follow up with them, right? That's just a little thing. That's going to help. So that's number one, right? So you be intentional about that. You time block, right? But then the second thing is that you are going to have some kind of accountability structure in there, right? Maybe the agent sets it. Maybe it's just a high performing team member where everybody gets in the room for a few minutes and you're going to talk about that. Talk about what your goals, where are you at? And it's crazy how if you create an atmosphere where you're talking about the numbers, where not everybody goes to their offices and they don't talk all day, you put it out in the open, people tend to produce a little better.
Exactly.
But then you've got a no excuses power hour. Show up, bro.
Yeah.
Make the calls.
That's it.
Smile and dial. I always tell agents, like, if you hire team members that are scared of the phones, they will not be with you very long.
100% accurate.
You have to be okay with being told no.
Exactly.
I mean, I saw a lot of girls out in high school. So no was a pretty common deal for me. But some people are not used to being told no.
Right.
So, hey, I want to pivot to that really quick. Because again, a lot of agents I talk to, they're getting this. They would love it if their team would even write 50 apps. Yeah. There's always the team member always has some excuse, something like that. So, I want to ask you, are there any things that you see maybe with underperforming team members that are kind of their biggest stopping points, right? Tell me what are the biggest hurdles, maybe things that you had to overcome to be a high producing team member. Tell me some things that you're seeing other team members struggle with.
Yeah.
Trying to get their production up.
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing, and I mean, it's not like I was never at that point either, because I was definitely at one point struggling and trying to get going and build my centers of influences and all that. And like when I was first calling, I got, as far as my list, I got the old leads. I was calling on old leads. I was calling on old stuff. I wasn't calling anything hot and pretty or anything like that. So basically all I was hearing was no. I was getting more majority no's than I was yeses. And it's just finding that diamond in the rough. It's all about volume. It's all about consistency. And that's what I really think team members struggle with nowadays is just, I understand it's not pretty. It's not fun making 200 calls out a day and getting told no so many times. But at the same time, you call 5, you call 200, you get 10 yeses. That's 10 households you're right.
Bam. So
that can help your month out a lot. The big thing is consistency and just with that follow-up process, pound the phones. Because again, if you don't have those centers of influences built, if you're not making those call volumes, every once in a while you'll get a call in and you'll say, hey, I need state minimum liability insurance. I just need to go get my tags renewed, all that. That's not sticky business. That's not business for one.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I love that phrase, sticky business.
Yes. Sticky business.
Like, it's not just about writing it. It's, can you keep it as a customer?
Can you keep it? Can you build that relationship? Because that's what we're trying to do on the front end and on the back end. Build the relationship, build the rapport, make it about them. It's not about a promotion. It's not about what you can sell them. It's not anything about that. It's about making sure their needs are properly set up. And again, with that, when you have that, following that follow-up process to get that business closed is very, very key. And I see a lot of team members struggle with that consistency piece of following up. And then again, just volume. It goes back to volume. I always tell people having as many quality conversations as I can with as many people as I can.
Dan. I mean, when you say it, it sounds simple.
Exactly.
Like I've never sold insurance. I've been very honest about that.
Right.
For the last 8 years, I've led a company that helps thousands of agents and team members. And so I just see what works. I'm kind of like the mole between the agents.
Right. You are. Yeah.
I kind of see what's working and what's not. Right. But there's a common thread that I hear, and you just said it. It's about building the relationship. I had, Scott Greats on earlier. And his big thing is referrals done right. Exactly. That you don't go get a referral. A referral comes from building a relationship with someone. And that becomes sort of this infinite thing, right? But that process has to start somewhere. It starts with the cold call. It starts with the follow-up, right? And then it's all about how you structure it. It's asking the good questions. You said having the right conversation.
Exactly.
And it's a whole conversation.
It is.
Somebody might call in and say, well, I just need some auto insurance. And I've seen underperforming team members, they sell the motto and they never pivot. They never ask them better questions. Tell me about your family. Tell me what you're interested in. Yeah. And then you have that whole conversation so you can present to them, right, that logical case, that logical presentation.
Exactly.
As our friends at Trophy Club would say.
For sure.
So that sounds like that's what your process is.
Absolutely. Yeah. The big thing is building that rapport, figuring out kids' names, relationships. You married, any kids? What's your kids' names? Oh, little Jane. I want to make sure if something does happen, you pass away, you don't come home tonight. I don't want Miss Jane to have to go to a different school. I don't want your wife to have to sell the house. Things like that. So let's lock in a life insurance policy to cover that debt. Things like that. Just always looking to pivot and how you can help somebody's situation. Oh, you have a high health insurance deductible. Let's look at a policy that could potentially help you if a situation arises where you all do have to go to the hospital that can help meet that deductible. Things like that. It's about, again, it goes back to fitting the need for that person, whether you get 5 policies, you get 2 policies, whatever you get out of it. It's about fitting that need and being consistent with that for sure. That's all what my process is about.
Yeah. How often do you do continuing ed for yourself in terms of training and learning?
I never stop. Yeah.
Do you block out some time every week, month to train? And how do you do that?
Yeah, for sure. So really what I try to do, because my day-to-day is so busy, I always tell people, specifically in the insurance world, if you want to see success, it's not a 9 to 5. You can't expect to see any results if you just continuously, 5 o'clock, let's go home.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's just, it's not how that works. You got to work. You got to put in the hours. You got to put it in, and you, again, you'll see success. But as far as continuing education, my kind of setup on it, if I do have some free time, I will put maybe an hour calendar block or something like that. But most of mine is done outside, just because. But because of how many conversations I'm trying to have with folks, how many appointments I'm trying to have in that 9 to 5. Really 9 to 6:30, really 8 to 6:30 if you want to be real. In that time frame, it's just you can't really focus on that because you're so focused on the other stuff. You honestly, if you want to grow, you're probably going to have to do it outside. So I try to spend at least 30 hours a day doing some type of continuing education. Right now, I'm reading a really great book called The Power of Zero.
Okay, good book.
Yes. I've so many people have recommended it to me. I'm just now getting into reading it. David McKnight, great author. He's got a new book coming out in December, I believe. So I'm reading that one. They're going to start this one for just things like that. Reading online, reading books. Yeah. I'm constantly looking at the way the business world is going, stock markets, things like that. Because again, With insurance, it is not just a one-stop shop with cars and homes. There's so many other ways we can help folks in the other world, helping them reach their financial dreams and goals and all that. So definitely continuing education is a big part of it.
And I know we've got agents listening right now, and they're like, all right, how do I steal Caden? Really, or how do I clone him, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at their team, and they're not mad at their team, but they want to be the best encouragers, or maybe we have a team member listening and they're sitting at 25, 30 apps a month and they want to do it. They're doing the things, and for some reason they're just not getting to all their calls, or they're losing track. At the end of the month, they're getting what they get, right? And they're thinking, all right, where do I start, right? This podcast is all about giving something peaceful, giving something for agents and team members to grasp onto today, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's do this for a second.
Yeah.
I want to give our listeners a sample schedule for the day. All right. So let's walk through a basic schedule for your day.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to begin as you get up out of bed.
That's fine. Let's
not
do
that
it.
far. Well, maybe so. Because maybe there's something that you do when you kind of wake up in the morning. But let's start when they walk in the office. All right. Let's give them a sample day, and maybe agents, you can structure your team members' day for a week, 2 weeks, a month. See if it makes any difference. All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. What time do you get in the morning?
So it depends on what time you get out of bed.
It does start then.
Yes, it does. It starts then for sure. So really, I don't have a set time depending on my schedule that day, but I do like to be at the office no later than 7:45.
Okay.
I will say that is early. I don't think that is a mandatory thing for you to get there that early. Specifically on the sales side, we do require all our salespeople to be there no later than 8:30. We try to get them by 8:15, but things happen, whatever.
All right.
So I would say no later than 8:15 to kind of get a good start of your day.
I love it. So team member shows up at 8:15.
Yep. Team member shows up at 8:15.
Then tell me what you do next. Give me the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at it. Our email. Let's make sure, see what leads have come in overnight. See if there's any underwriting stuff that have come in. Because again, that first 20-minute time block is, hey, if there's any underwriting stuff, we need to get that knocked out. So because again, your main focus of the day is talking to as many people as you can, not worried about the service side and, we didn't get there's a digit wrong on the license. There's a digit wrong on the VIN. It's not fun. Nobody wants to do that. Let's knock that stuff up now. So then when the phones, start rolling, you're calling and you don't have to worry about that. So that's kind of the next little bit of it. We have the morning meeting,
which starts at about
8:50.
8:50. All right.
About 8:50.
Got it.
Yep. So to start 8:15, you get there, you're getting going, look at your
emails, deal with the little things that are going to distract you for the day.
8:30 to 8:50.
Yep.
That's what you're doing there. 8:50, you got your morning meeting. 8:50 to 9, we're going through all that stuff. And then at 9, it's game on. Let's go. Phones forward. Usually what stops our meeting in the morning is a phone call coming in.
Yeah, sure.
The second 9 hits, somebody's calling in. So customer care team will go take care of that. And then, like I say, sales side starting to rock that power hour out. So power hour goes from 9 to 10. From about 10 to, depending on what's going on that day, about 10 to 10:30, we will have another sales meeting, just the sales folks.
Yeah.
And we'll say, hey, let's go over our quote sheets or whatever we've talked about.
I love it. So that's immediate accountability.
Accountability.
Wow.
Yes. Let's go through these conversations. Hey, what did somebody mention to you that you hadn't heard before? And how can we overcome that objection, or how can we help these people in this situation? So we have started doing that probably the past 6 months, and we've seen a lot of help as a result of newer team members having questions, things like that. I've been able to step in and say, hey, this is what to do in that situation. And then after that, I always, I do spend a certain amount of time each week trying to reach out to maybe some new centers of influences that I might have seen on social media that I've never connected with.
So you leave that meeting. Okay, I'm going to take an opportunity to sort of pivot for a minute, reach out to some new centers of influence, do some that new tilling the ground type work.
Yes. Because truly, again, it's not fun to cold call. The easiest way to see success is have that business come into you. So where I've found success is apartments, realtors, lenders, people like that can say, hey, go call Caden. He's going to get you taken care of. And then when you do get that opportunity, again, make it about them. Hey, I appreciate you so much for reaching out. I'm glad we were able to have this opportunity.
Right.
I want to make sure we get this all perfectly taken care of for you and how you want it set up. So again, going back to that centers of influences, just reaching out, hey, I saw a new apartment complex being built. Let's reach out to the leasing people, see if we can get connected with them. New realtors coming up. He's been doing well so far. Let's get connected with him, see how we can help there. Just things like that. So yeah, focusing on that for a little bit. And that doesn't have to be long. You can spend 25, 30 minutes just making some phone calls out there. And then from there,
that takes you to about lunch-ish.
Yeah. From there, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So you're about to lunch at that point. You go have your lunch. I'll be honest. I try to eat while I work.
All right.
Some people are like that. They think I'm crazy for that, and that's kind of part of it.
Some people are lunch people. Some people are not.
Exactly.
I'm a lunch person.
Exactly. And hey, to each their own. There's so many people that are like that. I have found that but if I do try to go take a lunch, when I'm sitting in there or I'm sitting in the back or whatever, I'm like, oh, who do I need to go call? Who am I going to call next? Who am I going to call next? So I'm working. I'm doing a working lunch. And then after that, it's really, again, you should be having these appointments scheduled. You should have these.
So that's when your appointments come in.
So I try to have, yes, things like that. So I try to, my morning structure, I do try to just have my calls. I'm calling at that point, and then more towards the afternoon, I'm having these appointments, because if you think about it too, when you're calling these people, current clients, new prospects, whatever, most of the time with how their day-to-day life is, most of the time they're going to have more availability in the afternoon. We've kind of seen that over time. So I try to schedule those appointments in the afternoon. So I'm meeting with clients. And if I'm not meeting with clients, I'm on the phone trying to get new clients in.
Got it. Okay. So that's going to take you through the rest of your day. I think that's brilliant, right? Get up, get rid of the small stuff. Get rid of all the stuff that's going to block your mind, right? You're going to go straight into the morning team meeting. Bam, 9 o'clock. You guys have a power hour in it. 9, 10, right? Your customer care team's taking care of BOD task or whatever that is. You're going to have another quick sales team meeting, 10:30. Talk about opportunities. Where do you need to collaborate? Right? Some people decide to go to lunch, maybe, or no, I'm sorry. From there, you're following up with your series of influence. Yep. Telling us new ground. Some people take lunch. I am in like you, power through it. Maybe eat lunch at your desk. Yep. That's when you're trying to have your appointment times. They're in the afternoon. It's a beautiful way to structure your day. And I can see why you're producing 100, 150, apps. Tell me what's your biggest month app count?
152. 152. Yeah. We're trying to. I've had some couple that have kind of. It's been meeting me up because I'm kind of getting right around to around that 152. So trying to get past that point for sure.
Past that point too. I know it's not about app count or item count depending on what company you're with.
Yes.
It's about premium too, but the reality is that premium is going to follow. So
absolutely.
So there you go. There you have it. It's Caden Easterling.
Easterling. Yeah. Easterling. It's up there.
Hey, man. If you're listening, you've been listening to Caden Easterling, and he's here in Lexington, Kentucky. Man, Caden, thanks for being on. Super, super helpful. If you're listening, hopefully you've been taking notes. Go back and re-listen to this. Implement this into your team members' day.
Yes.
I believe that's going to take them far. In fact, I would almost venture to say that put some kind of structure in. Even if it's not this exact structure, what you've heard is 100 app team member is a team member that has structure. That's what I get.
Absolutely.
Right. And then how do you structure? Have some smart structure to it. Make sure you're engaging in meetings, competitiveness, team training. Find a great coach, whether it's Trophy Club, Scott Greats, right? David Peterson. Again, whatever company you're with, Craig Wiggins, whoever you're with, find someone to help.
I would like to throw another name out there, Drew Griggs. Drew Griggs.
Oh, Drew Griggs. Yes.
I've been working with Drew the past little bit, and Drew has been great. So that's another guy to reach out to.
Don't forget Drew Griggs, which I believe, is that Weaver Sales Academy or part of Weaver Sales?
So he is a little bit involved. He also, it's True for Freedom. I can give you some information on him if you want to.
We'll make sure to post that. Yeah. I mean, Weaver Sales Academy.
Yes.
Front Runners partnered with all these guys.
Yes.
Because we're trying to get the best tools in place for agents. So, Caden, again, thanks for your time. I know you got to run back.
Yes.
Hey, if you're joining us, thanks again for being a part of To the Front. We can't wait for episode number 6. So again, thanks so much, Caden. Thanks again.
Of course.
Guys, go out there and crush it. Go create 100 app team members, and you can do it with putting some structure, some accountability, and encouraging them to go after their best. Hey, until next time, see you then.